All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to The Juice is Loose. I'm your host, Terminator Juice, and we just got a few guests tonight, so we'll go down the list here. Start with Ms. T. What's up?
Hey fools, Mr. T here. Chilling with these PC Windows drones
Android.
who think they're better than me because they were forced to use something. I made a choice.
For anybody that
To go
doesn't
back.
know, we were bashing the Apple products when
You mean that lack of quality is what you mean to say? That lack, boy,
salty.
that's why the Apple's bitten out of. It's missing some parts.
Man, you sound like a
Lack
salty
of,
new pen fag right now.
that lack of needing spyware. Oh,
Oh, that's
All right, let's get back on track.
All right.
Next up, go ahead, introduce yourself. Say hi.
Yo, what's up, guys? The Insane Game Freak here. One side note: the PC users are on time. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
The PC users are on time, so I wonder where that quality went.
We're starting late because Ms. T's something wasn't working on his Apple.
no. It's the browser. Stop tripping. It's Chrome.
Look at that passing the blame.
And we don't have any Robs here tonight. So
But everything is awesome, so we're good.
Robert, I don't know, he had some doctor's appointment late, like 8 o'clock. Like, who has a doctor's appointment at 8
Yeah,
p.m.?
this is really late.
It's just suspicious. And then Rob, his
Kind of
wife
doctor.
Rob's wife got out the whip, and she cracked it and said,
That's
"You
right.
will."
His wife.
She was like, "You will be spending time with me tonight." And so he said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, dear." So he's not here
Wow.
tonight. That's a true story.
Shots fired.
Didn't make that up at all. So anyway, so we're gonna do our best, just the three of us, and yeah, let's get ahead with the first little topic. It's not really a topic, but I just was gonna ask you guys: is Mitomo still alive for you? Because I haven't touched it since Thursday. Haven't even really. I turned my notifications off. I was getting annoyed by a lot of the pointless notifications. So, what are you guys? Where are you at with Mitomo right now?
Oh, I still use it. I said that. I still use it. I was on it earlier today. I will say I don't use it nowhere near as much as I did when I first got it. I kind of I'll get my daily gift. I will change my outfit. See, I want that ninja gear so goddamn bad. So I want that. And then I'll answer like a question or two, but I'm not on it like for hours like I used to be.
Terrell's talking through the fan.
Oh god damn it!
Must be that PC.
Come on, just like T, you go T shit.
It's the browser.
My quality is always good.
It's a bitch. Go T shit.
I don't know what. Try to fix
Yeah,
it.
Mitomo it's not like it was like, oh my god, it's the most amazing thing ever. It was a little bit more addicting in the beginning because obviously, you have that new, fresh, oh, it's a new thing kind of thing, and then that wears off. But I went a couple of days without touching it, and I just started messing with it again today. So it still makes me come back to it. So
Here's something like Saturday. I met with some old coworkers and we had a good time at Buffalo Wild Wings, and went and saw Batman vs Superman for a second time. And then yesterday I was wiring up a amp for my car for some speakers and stuff, and I did that all day. I forgot Mitomo existed until I saw a tweet about it today at work about noon. Like, I had forgotten for almost 3 days that it even existed. So I knew I wasn't going to be into, like, because I'm not into mobile apps and mobile games, but it was really fun and stuff in the beginning. I do like the Me Photo function, so if I want to make a funny photo or something, I still have that. But for me, I probably won't use it, but maybe a few more times unless they added something, really cool. So
yeah, I said they have to keep updating and adding new stuff to it. Something, little things. It doesn't be anything big, but just to keep people interested. Because you were already like sliding when we talked about it the first time. You were getting over it. So, but again, I said it. You said it before the game thing. But the app came out, that it's not something we were that interested in, and it kind of just surprised us a little bit how kind of fun and quirky it was at first. And now we're just kind of, it's wearing off, So no surprise, I don't think.
No, I mean, it was cool how well it did in the beginning. I hope it'd be cool if like the non-Nintendo, non-gamers, if it caught on
Right.
with them and got Nintendo on the minds of people. But I
That's
don't
who
know.
it should catch on with. I think that's who they want it to the most anyway.
Yeah, I like a little more substance. I'm not a big Animal Crossing fan. I didn't play Tamagotchi Life, so it
Ah,
definitely a
Yeah,
lot.
it's I'm not as huge into it as I think T is, but it was. I'm still using it. I'm just casually using it. Which like pretty much what I do with I'll check my Facebook, I'll check my Twitter, and then I check my Mitoma for a little bit.
Yeah, if it didn't take so long to boot up, if it had like a quick check your notifications, thing, but it just takes a minute to boot up, and I don't know. It's
I
not
still
that.
use it more than like a Facebook or a Twitter. I mean, I never use Facebook or Twitter that much anyway, but I definitely use Mitoma more than that still. So
Somebody using their scroll wheel like a addict, or is that a cat scratching on something? Sounds like
oh
someone's
yeah, I
mouse
heard that. I
scrolling.
think that's
Oh,
coming from.
that might be me.
Cut that out, Twilight.
Oh no, I've been playing the game called Twilight.
All right, so next up was impromptu topic. I was watching OJ's video while I was waiting for these fools to join,
Aha.
and I don't follow this Emily Rogers. Whether it's really I don't. Does anybody know if it's really a woman or is it
Yeah,
just a name?
Yeah, it's a woman. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
So
woman.
they know the actual. Someone knows the actual person. It's not just a Twitter name that people associate.
No, it's a real chick.
No,
Okay.
it's a real girl.
All right. So anyway, she's tweeting about all this stuff, and her latest one was the one I want to talk about, and that's that the NX's first year lineup will be greater than the Wii U's entire 4-year lineup of games. And I just want to give my quick opinion. There's no chance in hell it's not even possible for that to happen. And I'm going to give my points, but I want to get your guys' just what was your first take if you hear that for the first time now, or if you saw it or watched OJ's video earlier.
Actually, I don't think I got it from his video. I got it from somebody else's, but
Obi-Wan?
no, I don't watch Obi-Wan.
Shots fired.
Sorry, Obi.
Please mention me, Obi.
I tried, but I couldn't hang on. I saw that and I immediately started looking at all my games for Wii U, and I was like, "Are you flipping kidding me? Like, no way possible." I was just going. I actually made a list on I think I was on somebody's video.
I made a list too.
And I made a list of the games, and I'm like, no way possible. And I didn't even like mention like third party, but shout out to Emily Rogers. I mean, she probably a year and a half ago, she shouted me out on Twitter, said she liked my channel and told me to keep up the good work or whatever.
Sweet.
So that was cool. But I mean, she lost a little bit of street cred on this one for me, because I don't see how this could happen. We're talking Bayo too. I mean, we're gonna get into it, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, Terrell, what's your first thoughts on hearing that?
She probably wasn't a Wii U fan. I'll say that she probably isn't that big of a fan of the Wii U.
Must be.
That's the only reason that would make any sense. It's like, because I mean, you kind of have to be a relatively big Nintendo fan to enjoy the Wii U as a whole. Because if you're a fan of like certain genres, like I don't know, RPGs maybe, you only got like 1 or 2 games to really be looking forward to. So I mean, that's the only thing. Unless she's a fan of only certain genres, that's about it. That's the only way I can see her saying
that. But even if it has two RPGs, are they going to be as good as Xenoblade Chronicles X? I mean, so let's get to one of the points OJ made, because this one's a real sticking point, I think, for some. It's going to be the deciding factor on whether this is even possible. He's in his mind, if they launch with a bunch of Wii U ports in the first year launch window, to him that equals the Wii U's lineup just with those plus any new games. For me, Wii U ports, if it's like a full $60 game, it's not like here, $5-10 you can upgrade to the NX version, get whatever benefits. If it's like, all right, here's Splatoon NX version and it's the same game with maybe they give you few new things and it's like $40 to $60. To me, that's a negative on its lineup. To me, because I just don't like ports of your.
Well,
like to me, that's a
not fair.
That's a strict.
That's cheating.
Well, I was going to say, would it matter which games got ported to the NX? Or
No.
just okay, all right.
Not for me personally.
That's a fail regardless. If they could port over the entire Wii U library, and that would be cheating. That would not be fair because those are Wii U games. You can't release Wii U games and say, and then a couple more and say, oh, we got a better lineup than Wii U had 4 years. Come on, that's not fair. That's BS.
Also, considering some of the best games on the console use a controller that may or may not be returning.
Right.
Because just look at the PlayStation 4 with all those definitive editions. Like myself and a lot of people were just like, that's, Sony, this is enough's enough, release some new games, and like if you're gonna give them the NX and Nintendo props or make that a positive on their lineup, I just don't see how anyone could think that way if they had a Wii U and had these games. Now,
no, old ports is not, it's a nice pass.
Well, you also gotta
pass the time.
A lot of those definitive editions did sell well, so it tells you that the mentality is there. And I wouldn't fault them on a business level because they see on the other consoles it makes money.
Like I said,
the question is, will it make it better? Will it still be better? Will that be better than 4 years of Wii U games?
It depends on who you are, really.
Yeah,
but you're making a definitive statement. You're not saying, for my taste, this is going to be better than 4 years of Wii U games. She didn't say that. She just said flat out, this is going to be better than 4 years worth of Wii U games in the first year.
Well, I think OJ is the one who made the assumption that it's including NX ports, right? Or is that something she said?
Well, he's just going off what
she didn't say anything detailed like that.
She's been saying there's going to be ports in previous tweets. And, like, look at what's the most potential games, let's say, to get a port? Like Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, Splatoon. Like, let's say those three.
Right.
What are they going to do better to make those games worth? I mean, it's going to be in 1080p now instead of 720. Like, I don't see Nintendo doing a lot to make
Mario Kart's going to get that frame back, man. That 59 frames.
I'm about to say the only thing some of those games would include is that Smash and Mario Kart would probably include the DLC. But I was going to say the one game that I would debate on getting would be maybe Xenoblade, because Xenoblade I'm pretty sure would have a graphical update, and that would be like the only game that really justifies a port.
But I'm still saying that the port that shouldn't count.
Oh no, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even count that as the NX generation. I would just like I don't count all the PS3 or 360 games as the PS4 generation. The PS4 has like barely any games in its own generation.
I don't count Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD as new games.
No,
exclusive for Wii U.
I do count them as, 10 years old plus. A lot of people never played them. To me, that's a more of a gray area. Like that's still.
They're obviously a way bigger jump from coming from a standard definition game to high def for the first time. Unlike some of these other ports that are HD to HD, HD to HD.
I'd put those at the lower end of the list of of the great Wii U lineup.
Yeah, I didn't even count them in my list. I didn't even put the ports in my list of games for the Wii U.
Well, there aren't that many to put in there in the first place.
There's only two. Those two basically.
Yeah, just those two. Yeah.
So it's like there's no way. It's going to probably have a 3D Mario game and maybe a Zelda U port.
Right.
Possibly. And it's
but
like
still.
Well, here's my question: in the Zelda, do we even count that as an NX thing? I would count that as a Wii U game than an NX.
Twilight Princess was counted as a Wii game, pretty much.
It was.
So we'll have to see on that, but.
She said 4 years. That would fall into 4 years of Wii U. The Zelda is going to be in 4 years of Wii U.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that doesn't add to the NX's lineup because it's on Wii U, so it's not an advantage. So, you'll have a 3D Mario game more than likely. It'll be amazing, I'm sure.
That would probably cancel out 3D World, maybe.
But you're not gonna get a new Smash Brothers game in the first year.
No, you're not. Well, that might be the reason why they're porting it, so it can last.
Right, but then they're gonna try to use that as the count against,
No, that doesn't count. For me, those don't count.
No, it doesn't count. I'm just saying that's probably that's the reasoning behind it.
I'm sure that's their mentality for thinking it, or her mentality.
Yeah, it's like there's no way it's gonna have a X caliber, X quality RPG. It's from Nintendo. We'll get to the third parties in a second.
Yeah, I didn't even say third party.
A port of Splatoon doesn't count to a brand new IP on the Wii U.
Well, I don't even
blows people away.
to me that wouldn't even make sense because like we're pretty sure they're gonna come out with a sequel for that. What's the point of porting the first game?
I think maybe the sequel could come out holiday 2017. That would technically be in the first year. But, I just named, 3 games, and add Mario Maker, Mario Kart, Pikmin 3, Wonderful 101, Zelda, Bayonetta 2, Yoshi's Woolly World, it's like...
Lego City Undercover.
Yeah. It's like there's just no way in the first year. Maybe in 2 years it could be getting close, but... Because then it could possibly have Mario Kart 9 and maybe a Smash. I doubt Smash Brothers.
Maybe a Metroid.
Or we don't even know if the next Pikmin game could be a Wii U game, but probably not.
Oh yeah, they didn't.
We'll see.
But either way, it might have a few, like 3D Mario game, maybe Pikmin 4, and maybe a Splatoon 2 at the end of the first year. And then third-party games. It's not gonna have, Retro's next game maybe in the first year. We don't know, but
yeah.
It's just it might have a few of the heavy hitters that we got in the Wii U's life cycle, and then like if OJ said, we might get probably getting Dragon Quest and maybe Final Fantasy 15 and all these other third-party games.
But wouldn't those just be late ports anyway?
The Wii U at launch was filled with
late ports.
Assassin's Creed, Call of Duties, had the Need for Speed, Most Wanted You, had, what was a couple
you said Mass Effect?
No, yeah,
Mass
Effect had
I think Darksiders.
Two Batman games. It was filled with all these third-party games that were popular at the time of the launch of the Wii U. They don't count now, though. No one counts that as the launch lineup was a quality launch lineup or a first year. Those games don't count because they were late or they maybe had some issues. But if the NX gets the Call of Duty at launch and a couple of the bigger third parties, like that didn't count towards the Wii U's lineup, and those don't count anymore. So it's just, I don't know. There's just, in my mind, there's no way.
This is Wii U salt, man. That's all it is. It'll discredit some stuff or dismiss some stuff.
Yeah. Plus, we're getting Star Fox. In less than a month.
Still Wii U. That counts for Wii U's 4 years.
Pokken Fighter. A lot of people seem to love that game.
Tournament, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just there's just no way. I mean, it'd be awesome if within the first 2 years the NX library is looking what we're at right now with the Wii U, but
yeah, that's very possible. It could be.
But just no way in the first year. I'm sure it's just exaggerating for effect, but anyway, since I brought up Starfox.
I was gonna say, would she have gotten like as much attention if she said it's just gonna have a great first year lineup? No, she had to take a drop kick at the Wii U and just kind of dismiss the Wii U. Yeah, roundhouse to the Wii U.
Well, yeah, because I mean, even when she posted like a tweet talking about the 4 most influential games for the console, and I think she mentioned the 4 that she mentioned, I believe, was Mario Maker, Splatoon, I think Pikmin 3, maybe, and then like 3D World.
It felt very, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the site or visited the site, it felt very Wii U Daily headline.
Oh, yeah. I gave up.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's been a year since I went to Wii U Daily.
It's been a long time because I noticed they're just putting out outlandish titles.
And that's why I use Nintendo Everything from now on.
Yeah, I quit going to Wii U Daily.
I like Nintendo. Yeah, Nintendo Everything. I think. What's the guy with the British guy?
Nintendo Life.
Nintendo
I
Life
like
too.
Nintendo Life. They're my number one Nintendo.
Nintendo Life was pretty sweet.
Nintendo Everything. Which one's that?
That's kind of the blog. It's
a blog. Like they don't really have any physical representation.
No opinion stuff. Just like straight up.
And then you got Go Nintendo with Nintendo.
Go Nintendo, yeah.
All right, so it is what it is. It's another clickbaity stuff, and we probably shouldn't have talked about it. But I just thought I just wanted to get it out there that Wii U ports on NX make the lineup, in my opinion, lesser than it would be with. It's kind of a I don't know. It's the principle of it. I didn't like it on PS4. I wouldn't like it on NX, and I've talked about it multiple times. I did a solo video a while back basically saying the same thing. So let's get on to Starfox Zero, and I don't really care. Last week we talked about Final Fantasy 15 frame rate analysis and how that dips to like 15, and we talked about how they push realistic graphics at the cost of smooth gameplay and stuff. So Starfox Zero, it's kind of a lesser offender as far as the frame rate. It's the majority of the time 60, dips to 50 and 40 depending on explosions and whatever. But that sucks that it happens. But I just wanted to talk about what maybe caused this to happen. Platinum's kind of got a track record. Their games are never locked at 60. Bayonetta 2.
Yeah.
It's pretty consistent, but it dipped. Not so noticeable, but so I wonder, is it a Platinum thing? Is it just something that's in their DNA? Is it the outcry of people complaining about the game not looking good enough and them deciding to try to make it look better at the cost of the frame rate? Just kind of a discussion based on those ideas.
I would partially say it's probably because it's that. I feel like Star Fox Zero is rushed in some level. And to me, it feels like it was a rushed game because remember, they've only been working on the game. Platinum has for like a year, a little bit over a year, and to me, it's like I feel like if it had gotten the 2 years that I'm pretty sure it really needed, it would probably be a better looking game, and it probably would at least be locked around 50 or 60.
Yeah, because I heard that they're using Platinum's engine.
Yeah, you can kind of tell if you look at it, and so you can kind of tell at least the basics of the engine, especially because I went back and played Bayonetta 2's Star Fox Tribute. It feels very similar in terms of like looks of the actual ship, not necessarily the whole level, but just the ship. And to me, I think it really is just the fact that that game is kind of rushed. I feel like if that game had like another full year, it'd be perfectly fine. But because they're pushing it out so quick, because they need something for this year, that's the reason why.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of the disjointed kind of development cycle where Miyamoto's like, we're going to have this thing done in a year. Yeah. And with that, and then having to have Platinum jump in late, and that mixed with streaming 60 frames on two screens, like that's crazy. So
yeah,
I think it's a combination of those things.
And
like this isn't. I'm not. Oh, this is because it's for Star Fox and I love Star Fox and I defend it. We can go way back in my channel and see videos where I'm like, as long as the game isn't completely disrupted by the frame rate, and I can enjoy it, I will enjoy it. Like if I cared about that exclusively, I wouldn't even game on consoles. Like I'd just be gaming on PC. That's the only where you're gonna get the highest frame rates and all that kind of stuff. So
and plus that, from what we've seen, it doesn't dip anything below 30 anyway.
Yeah. So
what do you guys think of, like we talked about this before, but just refresher, like the final visuals with it seems like a pretty the lighting system seems to be much improved over the E3 initial reveal, and do you feel that the improvement over E3 is worth potential frame rate dips? Would you rather have it be lock solid and look like it did at E3 2015?
I don't know. I feel like if once I get my hands on the game and I play it, if you ask me that again, I could give you a more concrete answer.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I feel like that's one of those things that if the game plays really well, and I feel like the only thing that's hampering it is the frame rate, then I probably would agree that I would have took because the graphics were really fucking rough, and I don't know if I want to go back to that. That's my problem.
Well, to me, it's kind of not fair because we don't know if the game was dipping back then. Like we had a very small window of the game, and this is what's caused it. We don't know. We don't know if they would have finished the game the way it looked back then. We don't know if the frame rates would have dipped on that version.
That's true. Yeah, because it's probably just the game coming out sooner than it needs to, whether the visuals were pushed or not, it was probably
Yeah.
still going to have issues. So, but you made a good point. Like playing Bayonetta 1, the port, there's a boss fight that the frame rate really struggled on. The rest of the game was pretty smooth, but that did affect the ability to dodge and stuff. Like, I mean, it really made it frustrating at times. I don't think Star Fox is going to suffer that because it's not as intense of action, but it does seem like it's a very challenging game. Everyone seems to say that like that's one of the things they attest about the game, where they say it's fun and the dual screens take some getting used to, but they're pretty good once you get used to them, and then everyone agrees that it's a challenging game. So hopefully the challenge isn't not primarily but partially because of you're dying because of slowdowns or something messing up your shots. So we'll have to play it to really know for sure, but as long as it plays fine and it doesn't make any obvious like, oh my god, like that just killed me because of it was not as responsive or something, I guess then we could have a discussion about it further. But I just thought it was interesting to see, and I thought it would be fair to talk about frame rates for a Nintendo game since we did it for Final Fantasy last week. So, but overall, I'm not too concerned. Like I said, Bayonetta 2 dipped similar in the analysts in that game. I never really noticed it too much, and it still was very playable.
It wasn't that minor. Some people still think it runs at 60.
Yeah, there's just a few instances. I think that in the prologue during that the boss fight with I can't think of the name, but
is there any game on the planet that doesn't have frame rate drops?
Mario Kart 8 minus that half a frame.
And I think
still technically that's a drop.
It doesn't drop though. It just happened. They thought it was just in the coding, like it wasn't even a performance thing in their analysis. But there are some.
Smash drops.
I think 8-player Smash every once in a while I notice a little something, but I'm watching a 60.
But yeah, 8-player Smash. I mean, yeah, Smash is intense, obviously, but you're talking basically a 2D plane with a fighting game. I mean, like a game like a Star Fox where you're going through a 3D world and there's stuff flying and exploding around and all this stuff going on.
And they really improved the explosion quality too. Like,
I was gonna say, well, the 3D world probably doesn't drop. I don't think.
No, I don't think that dropped. So, but anyway.
Okay, there goes my argument then. Thanks.
I clicked on a Game Explained video just now, and
did your heart drop?
Yeah. They have a 720p and 1080p upload of 15 minutes of Star Fox, and I'm watching it, and it even looks even better than I even remembered it looking, and I mean, yeah, even if there are frame rate dips, I mean, it looks really smooth and fast, so. Like I said, I'm not too concerned about it. I just thought it'd be interesting to discuss. So, if you guys don't have anything else to add, we'll jump to the next topic.
Well, I was gonna say, I rather enjoyed Batman Arkham City on.
Yeah, that has really bad frames.
And it had some pretty bad ones, and I still enjoyed the game. So, if I can enjoy that, I'm sure I can enjoy Star Fox, which is not even close to the frame rate dips in that game. So.
And it was like, I mean, very.
Well, I think
it was in certain areas again too.
From what I understand, it's also because Batman actually could go higher on the Wii U, but it just wouldn't stay there.
Yeah.
Like I think you could get up to like 40 and 50.
I don't know. It felt pretty sluggish when I played it. Like I was feeling like I was crawling, like walking around. Yeah, I got done. I can't remember what I played that right after something else I was playing that was really smooth, and it might have been Bayonetta. Bayonetta 2.
And that's why we don't get WB games on the Wii U.
But anyway, let's talk about this other. I don't really care about the rumor side of it. I actually wanted to talk about this for a while, ever since the 2014 reveal of Zelda U, and Anuma joked about we don't even know if that's a boy or a girl or something like that. And he was just joking, and everybody freaked out. And so instead of just saying, reporting the rumor, I thought we could talk about if they made it an option to pick a male or female Link character. How do you think they should or will do it to make it work within the Zelda universe? And I have, for the simple solution would be just change nothing. Like there's still going to be, whether it's Princess Zelda or somebody gets into trouble, and there's still a person that becomes the hero of time or whatever, and don't even really acknowledge it other than changing like her, the name of the person, the references, instead of the hero being, just minor changes. Or they could do something even more extravagant and make it a very different story, depending on, almost like a Fire Emblem's Fates thing, where it's like almost a completely different perspective of the same story, based on the male or female. So what do you guys think Nintendo will do? What do you think they should do? And
as far as what they will do, I mean,
if this is a real thing, what would they?
Well, so we're going under the assumption that's pretend like it's real.
Let's just talk about like they decided to give you the choice.
Okay, as far as they should do is honestly just not change anything. I feel like the one thing I kind of hated about, and actually Fire Emblem Fates did this, that kind of annoyed me. Or Fire Emblem Fates wanted to go out of its way and let you know that, oh yeah, you can have one lesbian relationship and one homosexual relationship with like one girl and one guy. And I was like, to show how far we've come in terms of that, because I mean let's think about it in terms of the story. If it's still the whole Link, and if it's trying to continue off of the Skyward Sword stuff, where there was more of a heavy romantic like implication between Link and Zelda, that means we're gonna have to come up with that issue of, well, does that mean Zelda's gay in this universe or whatever?
Well, they could reverse.
Well, that's
a Princess Zelda. It's a male. It's a prince.
Well, that's what I was about to get into. If I honestly think if they want to do that, I would keep Zelda female and just not like go out of my way to address it. I feel like the best way to show how far we progress is not to make a big deal out of all that shit. So if you kept Link a girl and you did the heavy romantic implications like you did in Skyward Sword, just do it and don't say anything about it. Like, and don't try to make it a big deal, because to me that kind of annoyed me that they did that in Fates, especially because people were sitting there going, you only did it with one couple, and there are characters in Fates that are, from what I played, there are characters in Fates that obviously should not just be heterosexual.
Mm-hmm.
But that's getting into a different story. As far as what I think they will do, it all kind of, to me, that kind of depends on the story, because if Link is a boy and a girl, I feel like the story is going to be pretty basic. Like, they're not going to try to get too ridiculous with. I feel like Zelda U will probably end up being like a huge advancement in gameplay, and the story will just be kind of safe. So if they do it, then the story will probably just be kind of basic.
Well, let me throw this idea out to Ms. T, just to give you something else to think about. What if this is the idea that caused the delay? What if this is we really want to do this, but it's going to take time, and they do like a completely, depending on who you pick, completely changes like where characters are in the story, or whether they're male or female, and all that. What if that's part of the delay, like something major like that?
I would just say I don't think that's part of the delay. I think the delay has to do with, Wii not selling well, and next time. That's where I think the delay comes into play. Because I think this type of thing, create a character or more customization of characters, that's nothing new for this type of game. If you want to look at like a Skyrim, Elder Scrolls or something, they've always had that. So I think when Aonuma was talking about how he wanted to get more Skyrim-ish even on this new Zelda game, I think that was something that was already into play. I don't think Linkle on Hyrule Warriors Legends is a one-off thing. I think they were already there, and that's why they introduced Linkle, to get you more familiar with that, to get you ready for a Linkle character in a Zelda game.
Do you think it will be Linkle? We think will be the default
I think it
name?
might be. I think it might. Like, I was at first worried about the story, but I was like, wait a minute. Skyward Sword was the only one that it was like this relationship thing, where it could have been like a sexual thing. But they keep talking about Ocarina of Time. They want to make an Ocarina of Time type impact, that kind of thing. Well, Ocarina of Time story, you could have had Linkle in that game and changed nothing as far as the storyline goes.
Basically.
So I don't think that it's gonna. I don't think that it's going to hurt the story or make the story more safe or anything like that. I thought the story in Ocarina of Time was awesome. So I don't think switching out the the gender of the character would be that different. What I don't want is oh well, you can make them taller, or you can make them shorter, or you can make them you can change the color and all this stuff. Like that's.
Oh, you mean like heavily customizable?
Yeah, heavy customization, because I think that'll take away from the character Link. I know Link is supposed to be an avatar. That's what he was designed as from the beginning. It's basically an avatar into the world. That's why he called him Link. He's a Link. He's the player's Link into the game. But I always felt he was a character for me. So
yeah, at this point, it's like people complain because they like Shulk so much, but he's not in Xenoblade Chronicles. Not even a generic character. Right. And a lot of people that love Xenoblade Chronicles wished.
Exactly.
There was a
That's one thing that took away for them was that because they even teased this Shulk-looking character in that first trailer, bastards. And
hey man, at least you can sound like him, all right?
That's true, and you can make a person that looks like him. I've seen a lot of people who did that and call themselves Shulk. So
I think I'd like the majority of Link's. What makes Link recognizable should be intact, and we've already seen like Link, so it'd be interesting.
Now, if they did do some stuff that different, if you went female, that would be interesting because you want to play through the game twice.
Yeah,
I was like, that'd be cool in the gameplay style.
That's what I'm saying. It would be a lot harder thing to implement, but what if it was like
maybe
playing
that's another thing that
game.
caused delay, like you said, that could have been.
So it's just an idea, but I wouldn't be mad about it. Like you said, Ocarina of Time could have been a female. It would have made pretty much no difference.
No difference at all. I think about the story in that game and think of interaction between characters. That wouldn't affect it at all if it was a girl.
Yeah, it would be trippy though if it's like you switch to female Link now. It's Prince Zelda, and everything's flipped. It's like completely different perspective. Yeah. That would be crazy. I don't think they'd do that, but
no.
That wouldn't actually. That'd probably be. I actually would probably like that better than them just having a gender switch option because.
Yeah.
Because I feel like then you really would want to play the game again just to see if the traits of any of the people change depending on their gender.
That would be interesting. That would make it a lot more interesting, I think, if they did that.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But there are, let's talk about the people that would be completely against this because of A, they don't want to play as a girl. There's those type of gamers, or B, the purist.
Social justice warrior.
Yeah.
This is what this game is about, being social justice.
Yeah, they're just doing it for the, what do they call that, the movement or whatever.
So they're trying to do it for the, the women's movement. They just wanted some attention.
Yeah, that's like SWJ or something. What is that called?
SWJ.
SJW.
Yeah. SJW. Is that what is it? Is it SJW?
It's social
justice warriors. SJWs.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, like I was saying, the purists who are like, Link has got to be a man so he can save the princess, and I know Mike from that's done my podcast many times, New World Order for Life. He wanted to come on and debate it. I don't really want to debate it, but just get your guys' quick thoughts on.
What is there to debate?
Well, he was totally against. He's totally against Link being female just because Link's got to save a woman, type of thing, a princess.
See.
So I didn't really want to discuss it.
Yeah.
But
that
I disagree.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I see what he probably means by that whole. I've been playing this Link as a guy for years, and you want me to switch playing as a girl. I get that mainly for continuity's sake, but considering these are different Links, these aren't the same. If it was like Mega Man and you just gender flip Mega Man, that wouldn't make any sense to me because they'd be like, well, what's the point? Like it doesn't change anything. It kind of defeats the purpose of calling him Mega Man. But like in the case of Link, you have different iterations of the Hero of Time. And the Hero of Time.
That's the thing, though, right? It's like it's an ancestral thing. So why does it always have to be a dude? There's nothing in the rules that said it has to be a guy.
Yeah, like it
has to be an ancestor.
Link works as a character who can be like a gender flip. Actually, I I thought half of the appeal of him being androgynous was for that in the first place.
And he kind of looks a little more feminine in this new version.
He definitely looks a lot more feminine in this game. So
I will give Mike the not pass, but credit. If they're just doing it just to appease, the outcry that there's not enough females in the game, like to me that would be the wrong reason. But if you just do it because it's not that big a deal, then I'm cool with that.
I think that,
as long as
I don't see that as bad. I think that's a part of the reason they're doing it. They're doing a lot of these things, and we'll get into the voice acting stuff later. If if that's true, I think they're doing a lot of these things because they want the Legend of Zelda games to have bigger appeal, like a Skyrim. Those games have that appeal because of things like that. Because you can customize this, and because it's voice acting, you don't have to read. That's very hardcore, gamer stuff. When you still have to read text upon text upon text, without having voice and stuff. But I don't see that as a bad thing. I think great. More girls will play and be able to relate.
I think.
As a character too.
Well, I was gonna say, think about it this way. Splatoon's kind of already doing that. Splatoon's main characters are the Inklings, not a boy Inkling or not a girl Inkling. They made it where actually I think they showed the girl Inkling off first. Like they're inherently trying to push it where it's gender neutral. Where like in having more, and granted, for Zelda it works, but I don't want you to go running around saying, "Oh, Mario needs to be flipped," or Samus needs to be flipped, or any of that other shit. Like Pokemon has that where you could play as different genders. Zelda works because of the way the story is structured and the way Link himself as a character is structured. Just don't run around and do it to everybody just because you want to be, because you're trying to appease this small fan base that's being assholes about shit. It's like, she doesn't have boobs, so I can't have it. You mean the character who is a 3D model that you can't even see?
Yeah, that's definitely a slippery slope if they started.
There's a contingency of gamers, and I've seen them comment on stuff that just don't want to play as a female. Like they just that's why games of let's say of Tomb Raider ilk may not have as much appeal because a lot of guys just don't want to play as a female, and obviously most gamers are guys. It feels like, at least it seems like that anyway.
Well, I think most gamers are guys, but I'll say this: I think more guys want to play as girls, and partially because they always have been playing as guys. I would say the last 3 or 4 games I've been able to create a character. Splatoon, I played mainly as a girl. Pokken Tournament, I seem to keep switching genders, or I can't make up my fucking mind. Xenoblade, I played as a girl, and Pokemon, I always do one run as a guy, and one run as a girl.
Yeah.
Sometimes
there's a tendency of machismo dudes, who will not.
I know, but I'm just saying,
who will not want to play a game starting a female character.
But sometimes you just kind of want that variety in that little subtle way. It's like, I'm playing with a girl instead of a guy.
A true gamer isn't even
right. I'm just talking about. I know these dudes. I know
the guys that they want to be a gamer but still have that street cred and be cool and be still.
Well, they're not playing Zelda anyway. They're playing Call of Duty.
They still want to be a man's man, so they're get excited for the Gears of War 4 beta trailer, and seeing these manly dudes killing people with guns. Like those people, to me, don't even. I mean, they're a big part of the gaming business right now, like as far as game sales and stuff. But to me, they don't even count. Like that's if you're at that level where you can't play as a female because it diminishes or how people view you, or you're worried about how it makes you look as a man, then you've already got issues, not just with gaming. So to me, that's
some guys it's subconscious. It's not even like a conscious thing. They won't play Mirror's Edge or a game like that because
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta. There's just a contingency of guys who will not play those games because they don't relate to having a female or being a female.
I just as a straight male, I don't mind looking at the female.
Right.
I knew it was coming. Because for those who don't know, if you follow Juice on Miiverse or you're friends with him, this man is a deviant to the highest degree. Every when we were playing Xenoblade, there were so many shots, bro. There was so many shots.
So many shots of my awesome character and my team. I mean, I don't know what you're talking
Nintendo couldn't do anything
he
about
says
it.
this as later on in the game he switches genders and he acts like and then he takes pictures of all of his waifus that he wants to talk to me about my anime obsession.
What's that expression about a pot and a kettle?
Hey, well, I'm already black, so we don't need to go through that.
Majority of my pictures have my main character in the forefront. That's
Okay.
factual. I'm looking at it right now. Looking at all my pics.
Right
Or my
now.
Macs. So, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with an attractive female character. Like as a man, I'd rather look at like Elma than some dude. You know, that's just the way I am.
But I'm thinking like even like in a Zelda game, a female Link, I don't think she's gonna have sex appeal. You know, just that's not what she's about. It's just you know.
You haven't been on internet.
Unless you're Robert.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously, there's a bunch of you spoke deviant. There's a lot of deviant art out there.
Hey man, I'm gonna say you go look up some Lincoln pictures and tell me what you find. That's all.
You know, you got Robert, we in 360 with me, you know, crushing on.
No, he looking at me. He wants some mitten pictures.
Naked.
This is what happens when you don't be in the podcast, guys. You get destroyed. You can't defend yourselves. Just deal with it.
Linda's nude. She's sexual.
Oh my heart.
But I mean, like playing Rise of the Tomb Raider, like most of the outfits for her cover her body. Like you're in the cold. Like the majority, I'd say 70%, 7 out of 10 of the outfits cover her ass. You know, like there's mostly long coats. Like, and that to me didn't impact the game in a negative way at all. It was just like. I was like, man, this is cool. Like, there's actually some variety.
You said this, but I remember having a conversation earlier where he was like, man, her breast got smaller between games.
Yeah, I mean, they got more realistic.
I didn't point that out. Somebody else said that, and then I just said, yeah, I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, people keep saying like
they didn't really focus on it though.
That's the reason I like the new ones, but I wish that they would go back to some of the other stuff, the more Tomb Raider-y tombing, you know, raiding the tomb stuff. And somebody was like, "Oh, you just wanted
the game."
Yeah.
You just wanted pyramid boobs.
Breasts to come back, the pyramid boobs. And I'm like, no, that's not what it's about. I like that game.
She's the most attractive she's ever been, whether she's got small or not.
Because she looked silly before. She looked kind of.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they didn't know how to make good human models.
Yeah, the graphics wasn't there yet. So.
Yeah. But I mean, the thought of a female Link or Link or whatever, and you know, with just the whatever take they take on the green tunic or whatever, just seeing the art style now, it's not gonna be like a sexual, sexy character. It might be a really cute, like. I don't know how to compare it, like a cartoon, cute, like animated character or something, you know, like, and give her a good personality, or you know, like Link had a lot of facial expressions.
No man, she can be thigh-high moccasins with 7-inch heels on them.
She has some green leggings, like fishnet stocking.
We're already gone, folks. We're already gone.
So, but to me, it's exciting to think of a change like that, you know, just to mix it up. And you know, I had a male character for Xenoblade Chronicles X, but I would, you know, it'd be a tough decision though. I mean, so I guess we'll just finish this part and then we'll talk about the voice acting. If it's true, what do you think you'll start the game as first playthrough? You're gonna be the male Link or a female Link?
That's easy. Same thing I always started as. I'm used to starting Link as male Link, and that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll, you know, as an alternative, go through as female Link, if that's, you know, if this is real, obviously.
I mean, I think right now, without seeing the character design and knowing if it's real, I think I would probably try the female to start, just to mix it up.
I probably would too, but that's just because I've been in that kind of mood lately.
Yeah, I already knew.
I think it depends on, like...
Man, why did you say it like that?
The story. You know,
he's like, I already knew how.
If it really affects the story being the female, then yeah, probably.
But I think it's exciting to think about that, because that's not like a big change. Like, oh, we're not gonna have the Triforce, you know, to like something that major. So it's a new thing, but it's not like gonna ruin the game for me. Like in my mind, you have to have the Triforce. Like that would be something if they didn't have. it's not Zelda anymore, you know. But a female Link, it doesn't fall into that category for me. So let's talk about the rumored voice acting in the game, and I think this was Emily Rogers that kind of confirmed this.
Yeah, she did.
So, I mean, that's cool, but was it a must for you personally? For me, playing Twilight Princess HD, I'm feeling just as moved by reading the story of this game than any voice acting in like Rise of the Tomb Raider or any voice acted game I've played. It doesn't really affect me with Japanese stuff. I do prefer subtitles over English dub, so I don't mind reading to and still having an impactful story that way. So for me, it wasn't a must. So where does it fall for you guys?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to like what I was saying is that the voice acting is not a must for me at all because I'm used to reading in Zelda games. I mean, that's just how it's been. But I think it's a must for Nintendo. And again, we're going back to the Skyrim comparison. Al Newman talking about he wants to, make it more of that ilk a little bit. So if they wanted to hit Skyrim sales numbers on one console, I think Skyrim hit like 11 million or something on PS3 or something like that, or really? Somewhere around there. If they want Zelda to break past, I think Zelda's highest numbers were on the Wii, and it was like 7 point something million.
I think Twilight Princess was 10.
No, Twilight Princess on a Wii, I think it was like maybe 8.
Really? I'm gonna look at it.
Yeah, I think it was just under 8. So I think if they want to reach that, that's how you get the. There's 11 million people aren't hardcore gamers. I mean, there's a lot of casual gamers in there, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that you can sit back and just listen to the game. You have to sit in there and read text after text after text. Some people, the casual crowd for sure, doesn't want to have to do that in the game. They want it to be more of a quote-unquote cinematic experience. So I think that is a big part of why Nintendo would do that. And it just makes a lot of sense that it would be. I mean, we've been saying this for years. I think we talked about it in various videos about how we feel about voice acting in Zelda. That's nothing new. Mm-hmm. So I think if they did it, they would definitely go the route of NPCs and non-Link characters will speak, but not Link himself, because Link never really talks. Mm-hmm. He just kind of nods. He doesn't have dialogue that you have to read from Link.
Yeah. So I mean, to add voice acting, but not take away that part, even though it was kind of weird in Xenoblade. But just a point that we're talking about the sales combined. I forgot it was the GameCube and Wii combined. That was like 9 something. So that's what I was thinking. 10.
Okay.
How about you?
GameCube plus Wii? Okay.
Yeah, it was like just over 9. Terrell, I know you're not the hugest Zelda fan there, but what is you voice acting a must personally, and then do you agree with T for Nintendo's standpoint for the franchise? Is it a must?
Yeah, actually, for me, I'm pretty indifferent towards it. I can take it or leave it. As far as Nintendo's concerned, it probably is a must. I actually think it probably would feel better to do exactly what the rumor said, whereas everyone else talks except for Link. I kind of like that choice. I'm actually curious if they would try to go any type of like Mass Effect route and have like a good, bad, and neutral ending for missions, like side quests and stuff, and maybe give you dialogue boxes, because I know Skyward Sword did that a little bit, where you had some dialogue boxes, even though it didn't really change anything.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with T for the most part. I feel like it's probably something they're going to do, and it's something they probably should do, just to kind of fix some of the convention. Because Zelda's one of those franchises that kind of did it 3D route right, and then like never really tried to change it. I actually think it's probably been more stagnant than Mario has in that sense. So I feel like if they're going to shake everything up, this would probably be the way to do it.
Yeah, that'd be one way to kind of mix it up a little bit without, like I said, just like the male and female. It's not going to change what makes Zelda at its core. But I'm kind of basically what you guys said. Like for me, I'm indifferent. Like I said, Twilight Princess reading that's fine. But I do agree for Nintendo and for the franchise to grow and get more popular, which popular doesn't always mean better. So I know it's better for Nintendo to have higher sales and stuff, and Zelda's, the biggest budget game they've ever made is Zelda U, and they definitely want to get their money back, but I'm not one of those guys who likes the popular thing, and I've always gravitated towards maybe the lesser popular thing. So it's like,
just because you're a hipster.
I know, but to have Zelda do this, just try to be more popular. If it's done right, I don't think it'll. It definitely won't. I don't think it'll hurt. I can't say it definitely won't hurt, but it's so not needed from my perspective. But
I don't think it'll hurt a Nintendo game. I think trying to chase the popularity could hurt other games, but I think Nintendo, because they're about the core of the gameplay first, and then they think about that stuff. So I don't think it would hurt them to chase more popularity with a Zelda game, because I don't think they're gonna I don't think they're gonna sacrifice the gameplay to do so. I think they just add stuff, just be like, hey, so they can put that commercial up and you can see characters talking. They can put a commercial and you can see the NPCs and the characters in Zelda talking, and that'll be enough for a lot of people to see actual characters talking in a Zelda game, or any kind of game that has this kind of fantasy medieval setting, because that is very popular. That that fantasy medieval setting in video games or in movies, and Game of Thrones and all kinds of stuff. People like that stuff. So if, a guy who's sitting on the fence who's never played a Zelda game, that might be worried that you can't get into it, a commercial like that would get you into it. Like, it'd be like, oh, they stepping their game up. They're doing something that would appeal to me.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I don't think it would hurt. It's one of those things that
you just want your little Zelda in your little corner. I get it. Trust
it has
me,
the potential
to me too.
I mean, voice acting always has the potential to lessen an experience.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It has to be good. It can't be. It doesn't have to be great, but it has to be
Xenoblades
good.
was pretty good, but there was some characters that weren't great, and that it seems weird with the main character not talking. It's even more apparent when the other people are talking, so that's the only thing I'd be slightly concerned about. So if nobody's got any rebuttals, we'll go on to our final topic, and that's going to be what we feel Nintendo will and should do for E3. I want to do this now before they announce anything. I think last year, end of April, early May, they announced the digital event. The year before, they did it actually in like early April. So before they announce anything, I just want to discuss, will they do a reveal of the NX before E3? Will it be at E3? And then, should they do a live press conference? Should they still do a digital event? And how does the Treehouse Live factor in to all that? So I guess, Terrell, we'll start with you. Let's look at it two ways. Obviously, the NX reveal at E3 or before E3. Does that change, in your opinion, what they need to do at E3, depending on when they show the NX, either before or during?
Kind of. If it's before E3, then E3 will just be a digital event. And the actual conference that's before, if the NX reveal is before, then the NX will probably be like a live event, like a live conference event, whereas the E3 stuff will just be a digital presentation. If it is at E3, I would bank. It's probably gonna be live. I don't really care about it being live personally. Personally, I would just rather it all still be digital. But if it's a new console, I can't see them not doing that live. What they probably need to, and they probably need to do it live anyway. I feel like, especially.
Are you talking have an audience type of thing when you say live?
Yeah, well, yeah. When I say live, I mean like audience versus like digital. I feel like they probably need like a live one for a new console reveal, because if the NX is going to change the game, like a lot of people are suspecting it will, and I think Nintendo wants to change the game anyway. It probably needs to be live. I don't really care if it's live or not. I personally would prefer it to be digital, but that's just my thought process. But I think regardless of whether it comes before or after, it will be live as far as the NX stuff is concerned. Now, as far as just talking about games, that'll just be digital. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. I wouldn't mind just a really well put together Nintendo Direct type thing to show off the NX initially. Like, to me, that would be fine. I know a lot of people want that live audience reveal, but I don't crave that. To me, that makes things awkward at times, and it's if they love it and you get the crowd, but I just rather a really well handled, well edited together production, showing the NX, having people talk about it. To me, that's fine. I'm just thinking for the grand scheme of things, maybe they just have to get a bunch of press and everybody, some fans, and reveal it, whether it's at E3 or before, just to get that, try to copy what the PlayStation 4 did so successfully. But I say if they show it off before E3, it'll just be a Nintendo Direct-like thing. If they show it off at E3, then I could see a live press conference in front of an audience. And then still having maybe a digital event video that they show it after that's over to the people, or they would just scatter them throughout the press conference. So I think the most likely, if it's shown only at E3, I would say press conference. If it's shown before, I think it's going to be a Nintendo Direct-like, but a different type of Direct, obviously. How about you, T?
Man. Nah, man. Stop. Just stop. It's one thing to show software, like a new software thing, and just have a video about that, or a Direct, that type of situation. But this is new hardware, and this is your new home console. You can't just do only a Direct. You can still have that video that highlights and shows it off and shows a lot of cool stuff. But I think you need to have, a Reggie or somebody up there in front of the press, so they can have their questions and they can really get a look at the thing. Like, even if they did it before, it had to be a press event, because you want people to look at it and get hands-on and talk about how they felt about holding the controller and all that stuff. You want that. So even if it was a before E3 thing, I think you need to do a live thing. Now, if they do a before press conference type of deal, and then they don't do an E3 presentation on stage, that's fine, because they already showed the thing off.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to be talking about the games at E3.
Yeah, because then that's where you get all the IGN, GameStop, or GameSpots, and Game Explains. They're going to do a ton of videos with hands-on.
Right.
But they could still get all that at E3 if they wait till E3, and then their little, ace in the hole, or whatever that expression is. They got the Treehouse Live. They never had that before. That could really show off a new console, and but people are going to have to tune into that. But still, if Nintendo really does want to just get the message directly to us, they could, they could still have the stage event and stuff. But I think the Treehouse, if they wait till E3, could really be like, this is how we're utilizing this, and if the Wii U would have had Treehouse Live at its initial showing, or if it was like, I don't think the Wii U was ready to be shown when they showed it and didn't have many games and stuff, but if they show the Treehouse Live and they have really good demonstrations of the games and the hardware and stuff, I think that could go a long way.
I think for smart marketing purposes, I would do exactly kind of what you're saying. Like, I would do before E3, I'd have a video, a Nintendo Direct style video, and just show the console off, and just have people just go nuts. Like, show all this weird stuff and don't explain it. Just show all this crazy stuff. Let people speculate. Let the Nintendo Nintendo NX channel rumors blow up. Just completely go insane because they don't know exactly what they were shown. They were just shown this stuff, and it will just explode. And by the time you get to E3, it's just like total video game orgasm. He's like, oh, oh, that's what that does. Oh, this is, oh, thank you. You know? I think that would be a genius stroke of marketing. That's how I would do it. I would totally have a little video beforehand, like say a week out, 2 weeks out before E3, and just let people go insane for a week, 2 weeks about what is this thing gonna do? Kind of like what they did with the Wii remote. They just showed you this damn Wii remote, and that was it. Like you didn't like, how am I supposed to play 3D games with this damn remote? You know, it doesn't work. But people were going crazy over that stuff. So I think that's how you roll it out. Don't do some boring, oh, look at the features, you know, look at what we can do. We're going to do some TV stuff, you know, like Microsoft did. That was so boring.
And now, I mean, off topic, but Sony's pushing the PlayStation View like a TV service, and it's so funny.
Man, come on. I was thinking the other night, I was talking to my wife the other night, I was like, how did Sony let all these other companies beat them to the punch? And they're doing all this stupid crap. Like, how did they let people beat them to devices like Apple TV and the iPod and stuff like that? Sony used to run that stuff, and they just I guess they got too fat, and they just sat around and didn't, you know, do what they usually did, and they let these people beat them to the punch. And now they're like pushing VR and, you know, Ericsson phones and all this stuff they were doing before. Like, what are you doing? Like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand what's going on at Sony, but.
Yeah, that was off topic, but I just thought it was funny how they're going to the TV thing now.
What is that? Like, crazy. It's late and it's stupid. Like, I don't get it.
No one's talking about it.
It's called a mistake. That's what it's called.
If they had that at launch, then
that'd be a totally cool thing. But now it's just like, what are you doing?
All right, so Terrell, what's your thoughts on, you know, how the Treehouse could be used to show off, you know, the new console?
It depends on what games they announce with the new console. That to me, that's the best way you can show it off. The Treehouse did kind of like what they've been casually doing with Pokken Tournament and Splatoon, where they've done like streams dedicated to showing off games. Because that's really what they use the Treehouse for, just to promote games. So like if we got like a Pikmin 4 announcement, or I don't know, like I doubt they'll do a new 3D Mario. I feel like new 3D Mario would be like Zelda status, where they just won't. Where they won't like they'll talk about it, but they won't ever like let us see like a demo of it. I feel like Pikmin 4 or something kind of low tier, maybe like a new F-Zero or something. That's really the only way I can see them using the Treehouse, because I doubt.
Well, they could be like, all right, here's Pikmin 4, and here's how you're gonna play it on the NX, you know, and then discuss
that's
feature specific to that game to showcase. Or like, let's say another game has a really cool social element, and like, here's how you get to Miiverse instantly, and do this, and this, you know, through the games. Instead of just having them show the games, they could show the hardware and the games at the same time to kind of give people a better idea of how things are working. And if the, you know, the operating system, everything's ready to go. I think that was the biggest problem with the Wii U, is they couldn't really showcase the system. I think it was like a week beforehand. They're like, oh, here's our OS, you know, here's what it looks like, and it was just too late. And then the final update for the OS came on launch day. So I think hopefully they got all their ducks in a row this time. And
no day one patches. Let's not have a big day one.
Even though PS4 and Xbox One both had them, but
yeah, they both had them. But I'm saying I don't like
suck.
That. Yeah.
But yeah, if they need to if the OS is ready to go, show, you know, here's how this works with Pikmin 4. Here's how this new 3D Mario game's integrated into the system. You know, here's what benefits you get instead of just showing the game and that. So it can be interesting.
That was the big problem with the Wii U, is that the Wii U's like apps were all fragmented, like. And I think it was intentionally designed that way.
Well, they had separate teams, and they all threw it.
That was stupid.
David said that. They didn't even talk to each other. The different app divisions.
Well, you can tell they didn't. I mean, as I said, you can tell the 3DS nor the Wii U was really future-proof. I mean, that's one of the reasons why the 3DS started out with friend codes again. I mean, people forget that's still a thing. And
well, the thing about friend codes is. It's not much more characters than a Nintendo Network ID. Like, it's not hardly any more work. It's Like, there's Nintendo Network IDs way longer than a friend code. So it's like,
I don't friend those people.
it's just like,
I'm just kidding.
It's the Nintendo Network ID. You still had to, type in this long thing. They still had to accept it. So it's like you still had to know who they were pretty much. And other than Call of Duty, had enough recent players.
They fixed that now. But like, yeah, when the Wii U first came out, the only way you can get like a friend request and get it to show up on the other person's console is if you did it through Miiverse. Because on the friends list you couldn't do it. Like if you hit register friend, it was like the same thing on the 3DS. You hit register friend, you type in the code, and they got to type in your code.
Yours. Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, just point that I was trying to make is the friend codes aren't that much more. They're really not even a hassle compared to typing in somebody's long username.
Right, and make sure
yeah, like on Steam, I'm gonna add my friend from work, and his name's like, I don't know, 14 characters or something. It's like, yeah, it's going to show him that there's a friend request and he can accept it. He doesn't have to type in my name, but
Adamantium is player 29.
Yeah, it's still kind of a hassle either way. I mean, I don't think friend codes were that big of an issue, other than like
they weren't an issue.
They were codes.
I don't think they were an issue. I don't think they were an issue as a whole. I think it was more so it's that one thing. It's one of the first things you start complaining about when you talk about like issues with the Wii and shit. It was like, friend codes. Not because they were terrible, just because friend codes.
It was a step. It was an extra step.
Well, and that didn't even have like a real friends list or anything. It wasn't. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. I know there was I think it was OJ or something. He was blaming friend codes on why the 3DS didn't get to DS numbers or something like that was his main one of his main points.
Really? That's the reasoning?
I thought it was pretty funny because it doesn't even register. Like, that doesn't even...
DS didn't have friend codes?
Yeah, the DS had friend codes. That's where it started.
Right. It was good back then. It was okay. It's 2011,
That was during the golden era, man.
Yeah.
That was during when the games
the 3DS didn't sell as well. It's one out of the gate. It was just a weird thing. It was like the whole 3D thing. It was expensive, and you had the 3D aspect that wasn't well implemented. Like if the 3DS came out with the new 3DS's abilities, it would sold gangbusters. I think it would have sold a lot more. I won't say gangbusters. I think it would be closer to like 80 million. But that whole disjointedness of how the 3D could, there's all that talk about hurting kids' eyes and all this stuff was going on. People forget about, and the fact that there weren't that many great games.
But I was like, it had a weak
weak lineup. So that, and the fact of mobile handheld devices. A lot of kids, my kids included, play a lot on their little devices. A lot of games.
I've seen some actual 3D, graphics on tablets.
The graphics are really good.
Damn good, so it's crazy. All right, so basically we'll end this part. We did this like a week or two ago, but I said April 29th was when I expect the NX at least to be something discussed officially from Nintendo. I think a week after Starfox. And you guys said I think early May, mid-May. I still feel that way, and it's funny. There was a rumored leaker who was saying he had all this information, and he's been trying to verify himself and this and that, and he's been saying for almost a week and a half now, there's going to be an announcement of a Direct in the next couple days, and then you'll know. Like, I think he was just counting on a Direct getting announced because it hasn't happened, and it's like, so that basically made everything he said about the NX and its architecture, all that, just completely BS.
It's like those dudes, like it was Y2K. Oh, we're gonna all die. Y2K, and they came and went. Oh no, it's 2012. The Mayans said we don't listen to the Mayans for anything else. But the end of the world, yeah, we're there. It's like, come on.
It's just funny.
You're just throwing, whatever at a wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, if there would have been a Direct, then people would have been like, "Oh, legit." Even if
this guy's a genius.
There's no way they're gonna announce or show off the NX before Starfox launches. There's no way in hell that they would do that, and anybody in their right mind from a marketing standpoint would do that.
And I think they want Star Fox to breathe for at least 3 weeks before they even.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I said May at the very earliest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, but I say at the earliest, April 29th. I'm gonna stand by that. So anyway, let's get to a couple questions here, and we're gonna wrap this up. So we got a question from Moroso Nero. Do you think that there's a chance Nintendo has to rise on top again? So it's kind of a weird way to phrase that. Do you think there's a chance Nintendo will be on top as far as sales and popularity? He believes they can conquer the hearts of gamers once again with the NX. There's a chance, but not very good chance.
Yeah, I don't know about on top. I think it's gonna definitely go in the right direction. I think it'll turn. It has a chance to turn around and be somewhere between N64 and Super Nintendo, even. You know, as far as its popularity and sales and stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I think the next step will probably be they're on top, if they go in the right direction.
Yeah, it won't be like this generation where
no.
It's an obvious like gap between the top dog and the low dog. Like even if the NX comes in third to the next consoles, it will be by a very small margin. Like they'll all be pretty close with each other.
Right.
To me, this is what I kind of view the Xbox, because people always ask me why I never bought an Xbox One, and my whole thing was because if they go a generation where they have consistent exclusives and they don't lose them, then it'll kind of regain my trust as a fan. I feel like the NX generation will be, well, if you can go an entire generation with getting competent third party, then going forward, people will be more confident in your console. So the NX is pretty much just the NX is going to do what the Wii was supposed to do, pretty much.
Right.
Build confidence back into the third party gamer, not the hardcore gamer, the third party gamer.
And Nintendo fans from back in the day, they know Nintendo. They don't know Wii and Wii U. They want to see Nintendo on the box.
Well, to be honest with you, that kind of gets into a discussion I want to make later on, because I want to argue. I want to see, as much as people have been trashing the Wii U, I'm curious to see if people think the Wii U generation is worse than the Wii generation. But that's a video I'll make later.
Yeah. Depends on what you mean by worse, as far as.
I mean, like
casuals.
I mean, like as an overall. I mean from their own personal perspective, like.
Oh, you mean as far as the games, like just?
Yeah, the games. I'm mainly using the games because if I went features overall, the Wii U wins hands down. So I'm going primarily games and innovations and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, when you make that video, I'll definitely check it out. All right, so PerryFan74. If the NX has a lot of remasters and ports, do you think that the media will spin it into a negative light as opposed to the positive reception that the PS4 got? I don't think a lot of people spun the ports, the PlayStation 4 ports, as a positive, but they didn't really count it as a negative.
Right.
It was just there, and we reviewed some, and Last of Us got a 10 out of 10. But I definitely think the NX does it. It'll be a big negative. Yeah.
Oh, another port from the Wii U. Here we go. You know what happened. You know it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
They're complaining about the two ports from 15 years ago.
Yeah, those are two negatives for sure. Crazy.
So they're definitely gonna cry if something comes from Wii U over to.
And going from standard def to HD, that doesn't matter. And they're 10 years old, that don't matter. They added improvements galore, that don't matter.
Because then they'll start counting the 3DS. Oh, look at the 3DS got remakes too.
Yeah, those will count.
You know what I'm saying? Like only Nintendo or the handhelds count. Yeah.
So PerryFan asks, would you rather the NX be backwards compatible or have a few select ports of popular Wii U titles? Now that depends. Is the backwards compatibility a hardware backwards compatibility where it raises the price of the system and you got to plug in? You got to worry about plugging in a damn sensor bar and this and that, like it's going to be a Wii again. Or you're just talking about software emulation like the Xbox One pulled off, where it's completely different architecture. So I think if it's just software emulation, I'd rather have backwards compatibility. If it's going to come at the cost of me or something, I'm good just playing my Wii U and my NX hooked up and at the same time. But if they're just going to do a couple ports of popular Wii U titles. Definitely backwards compatibility versus that.
Yeah,
What do you guys
for
think?
sure. Yeah, I agree. Even if you have to go two SKUs, where you have a SKU that's fully compatible with Wii U, and then it's a little more expensive.
Would that be worth doing though from there?
I don't think it would be worth
From there,
doing. No, that
especially
wouldn't
if
be
they're
worth
doing
doing.
ports. Yeah, because especially if they're doing ports, it really doesn't mean there doesn't really need to be two
Yeah,
different versions.
no.
I'll be so disappointed if there's a bunch of ports of Wii U games.
I wouldn't be. I don't think there'll be a bunch, but there'll probably be a few of them.
Like
Yeah.
Smash Bros. Like, are you gonna charge me $60 to play Smash Bros. On the NX? Like,
Yeah, because you'll
if
get
there's
all
an
the
upgrade
DLC for
fee,
free.
or
Man.
get the NX version, you got the Wii U version.
You can get the hell out of here with
No,
that.
but
That's not happening for me.
I'll tell you guys right now, I will not buy a single Wii U port on NX. I just won't.
I'm not gonna buy.
Even X, even
other
X.
than Zelda U.
X is like the only one I would
technically-
debate it. I would debate it if it was X.
Well, I'll buy Zelda U. Like, if it's coming out the same time, I'll just get the
Right.
NX version. But if the Wii U version comes out and I buy that, I'm not gonna buy the NX version. But
Right.
X has the most potential to gain. Like, no pop-up, higher res, 60 frames, whatever. Still, I got 160 hours in that game. I'm not going to start over, so there's just no chance. But that one, if I hadn't played it, would be the most most intriguing because it has the most to improve, I think.
Honestly, I'm gonna buy both versions. I'm gonna buy the Wii U and NX version of Zelda because I'm gonna take that Wii U version and keep it sealed and
Yeah,
locked
that's
away.
true.
Because
be $100.
Princess on GameCube is still expensive, man. As a used, disc only, it's still expensive to get. So I won't make that mistake again.
Another question: how do you think Nintendo and the NX will go against VR? That is, if the gimmick takes off. Do you think Nintendo will ever try to reconsider the first-person machine, VR, as a viable game platform?
I hope not.
I hope not, man.
I mean, I'm already seeing, people are trying to hype up VR on Twitter. It's like someone made I think it just feels like I can't remember who made this video. It's like all these people who are possibly getting free like review kits and stuff.
Right.
They're hyping up, but then you see Yoshida, whatever, from Sony. He's got the HTC Vive, like full set, like the full room environment one with the cameras and stuff, and he's posting on Twitter about it, how he's excited about it. And it's like, I tell you right now, you're going to use it, and then you're going to want to show people it, and then, all right, the next person that comes over here, check this out, it's awesome. Like, that's what VR is going to be. So
yeah,
I hope that Nintendo, the NX, can go against VR and just crush it under its heel. But
please,
I have no problem with VR.
Like with me on the Wii U, with the Google, what was it? The Google application on Wii U, where it's like you can look everybody, come over to my house, look at this.
Oh, you mean the thing
I can look around the TV. I can look around the streets by turning the gamepad, and I never used that thing again.
I did the same thing with my brother. I was so proud of that feature. It's like, look, you can look around your street and look around, just move it. Yeah.
Google Street, I think it's called.
And but anyway, I mean, I know VR could be something really cool. It has the potential, but not
20 years.
But I think Nintendo and the NX, I don't think they should focus on it. It's expensive. I mean, the PlayStation one's the cheapest at $400, and it's or $460 with the camera.
Yeah,
I don't see it. So
it's not. It's not viable enough as a gaming thing yet.
Yeah, it's not worth
to get into it.
All right, we kind of touched on this already, but Tony Coran, I don't know if you joined late. Since Emily Rogers had posted a rumored tweet before it was removed about the 4 possible Wii U games ported to NX, how would you react if Nintendo and Platinum Games were to port Bayonetta 2 for Nintendo's new unified system? I'm guessing that wasn't on her list. I think it was like Splatoon and Mario Maker and Smash and Mario Kart or something like that. Whenever you mention Bayonetta 2, that's always a damn soft spot for me. It's like,
I couldn't tell by looking at your avatar.
Yo.
So it's like, if there was going to be one game that I would consider buying the port of, just because I love the game and I would love to support it, it'd have to really do something new and special to get me to. But I think Bayonetta 2 would pique my interest, but it would have to be something vast, like
It'd have to be cheaper too. It'd be like
yeah,
40.
but like
it's already cheap as hell now.
like completely new character models and stuff like just completely look almost like Bayonetta 3 without having while we're waiting for Bayonetta 3, maybe. What do you guys think?
No, X is my only gimme. Bayonetta 2 can be yours, but X is my gimme in terms of ports. Because I feel like X has way more to gain from it. And I probably would play that game again, to be honest with you.
I mean, I want to keep playing it, but it's just hard to find time right now. Finally, some of the TV shows I've been watching have their season finales this week, so I'll have some more free time. But
and Game of Thrones is starting in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep away from that show. It's just last season there's just nothing rewarding about it. So
it was brutal.
So Perry Fan just had one more question about voice acting, and he thought if you could toggle voice acting on or off, would you prefer that instead of one way or the other? I mean, obviously the option, but if they're gonna take the time to record all the voice acting, I would think they'd want people to use it. So I don't know. It doesn't. I guess that would be cool, but I don't know. If you're gonna do voice acting, just do it. And I mean, but you might need subtitles for the hearing impaired. So I know Nintendo's, they're not always. They don't have a lot of story elements, so they don't always have to worry about that. But it seems like they always do have subtitles because they don't have voice chat. So it'll be interesting to see with voice chat if they would have subtitles. But anyway, what do you guys think? Would a toggle option be?
I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, really, most people just say, I put it in there under classic, like normal and then classic, the classic option.
True.
Yep. All right, so that's it for questions. I want to thank the two people for submitting questions, but
the two Bobs aren't here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wonder what his wife's got him doing right now as we're talking. He's probably cleaning.
He's probably
sweeping, vacuuming the floor or something, or
he's probably
cleaning the windows.
Snuggling under his Star Wars blanket or something.
Yeah, he's probably not cuddling his Blu-ray collection of Star Wars.
Oh man.
I wish we should have been harder on these two guys, because it's like, I make them an official regular member of the Juices Loose this week.
Get out of here, I'm out.
And then Robert misses 2
He's like, I accomplished what I came to accomplish.
Yeah.
I'm out.
And then Robert misses 2 weeks in a row. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't to watch Star Wars for the 20th time.
Or Jurassic Park for the 100th time.
That was the one that, out of all the things, that was the one that bugged me. It might have been Deadpool.
2 hours watching that movie 20 times, and you could be at the podcast
for
an hour and a half.
All right, so we're at that time. Season finale of The Magicians on Sci-Fi is on in a few minutes. I can pause it, and it gives me like 10 minutes before it resumes. So we're going to do our final thoughts and we'll get out of here. So we'll start with the Insane Game Freak.
Well, it was a good podcast. As far as games coming out this week, I think the Lost Reavers beta that comes out this Thursday. So if anyone's interested in trying that free beta,
I might.
I mean, because why not? Other than that,
Wii
U. Hey, sir, I will be playing Bravely Second this Friday, so I don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah, that game ain't on Wii U either.
Yo, stop it. Anyway, it's been a good one. PC is better, and life's a gameplay to win. Shit.
All right, Ms. T, what you got?
Great podcast. We held it down even though we didn't have the two Bobs. Fun. Mac is definitely better.
The hater.
You PC drones only like PC because you were trained to like PC. I made a choice after being a PC guy to go over to Mac, so I'm not a drone.
So you just did. So that was just a stupid decision when you were younger. I'm sorry.
Salty.
You get what you pay for. You PC drones. You get what you pay for. But yeah, great cast. I'm gonna get back to making videos this week. I have one and a half that I recorded already. I just need to put it together. So
there's one of them by Squeaks the cat.
Yeah, Squeaks is in it. The rescuers of Mr. T. You get to see them. So look out for that.
I can't wait for that.
As I always say, play Nintendo, fools.
All right, so yeah, I'm not. I don't have any games coming out that I'm interested in till the 22nd of April. But I've seen some trailers for Gears of War beta and what was the other one?
You don't want that Titanfall 2, man?
Yeah, I heard about Titanfall. You know, this.
Ain't no damn trailer. I'm tired of these trailers that don't show any damn game.
Yeah, it's just all CG, just like the Uncharted 4 theatrical trailers. It's like, come on, the game.
I was excited for the trailer. It's just CG cutscenes. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. So, anyway, it looks like Dom is like a younger version of him, or somebody.
No, it's his son, I think, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, because he's back. Yeah, that's true. Because that tree was old and withered. So, I mean that intrigues me. But anyway, Suicide Squad trailer 2 looks pretty good.
Pretty cool.
What I'm seeing from that movie, Civil War has yet to impress me with the trailer, even though the pedigree of the directors and the Captain America's track record, I'm still gonna go see it. But I have not seen a shot in the trailer other than
Black Panther, man.
Black Panther looks cool, but nothing in that trailer
Black
makes
Panther.
me think that's gonna be a great movie. So maybe they're just holding everything back and not showing us everything. So. Yeah, that's about it. I'm trying to think of anything else I want to cover before we go. I guess that's going to be it. Rob, you got anything?
Everything is awesome!
Hilarious. What about
All right,
you?
I want to thank the viewers. I think this was the best podcast we've had in a long time.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I have to agree.
This was a great one.
We trimmed the fat, so...
Yeah.
I didn't say anything, Rob. What do you mean?
I didn't have to prove Rob wrong. Like, I don't think I did last week, but every other podcast so far, he said something completely incorrect, and
You had to put him back in his place.
So we're all.
One quick question, though. We're talking about Rob. Do you think people would be as in love with what is it called? I can't even think of it. Episode 7. If George Lucas directed it and made it?
No.
Wouldn't they be like, oh man, this is way too much like A New Hope, blah blah blah, another Death Star? Like, I think
that's true.
People are saying that now, but I think they would be going nuts if it was George Lucas.
But George Lucas would have done that without any real humor. I mean, the current George Lucas, not the original, and it would have been
I thought it was the same person.
Really bad dialogue.
No, I love the movie. Don't get me wrong. I
hear what you're saying.
I just think, I was just thinking about that today.
If George Lucas had directed the exact movie we got, we'd be crying. Fucking Death Star, come on! Starkiller Base is the worst. Starkiller Base is as bad to me, like the principle of it, as Jar Jar Binks. Like
that is the most egregious, like.
It's
just
such a terrible,
are you serious moment in that movie. Like, really?
Terrible decision to go with that, and the visual, I think, was what they really thought would look cool, like that eye looking, and it just doesn't make sense. A giant sun. How does a little tiny planet suck a giant sun's energy into its core and then not explode, and then do it in 15 minutes? Come on.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Nothing about it makes sense. It's stupid, and I hate it. But.
And remember, folks,
another
podcast about video games. We
got another Yoda and another cantina scene. They'd have been going nuts. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's a good point. You should make a video about that.
I think so. I think I should.
Chris Stuckman could make that video, I think.
Yeah. Oh, he'd be awesome with that. Yeah.
So anyway, that's going to be it for this video game related podcast. The juice is loose, and I want to thank everybody who tuned in. Had a good amount of viewers. So leave us some comments. Let us know what you think, and I'll try to get to them, the best I can. So until the next time.